Ensure that Americans receive better services from their government?
Well, we're encouraging them to use AI to do important work that they might be underway. We're sharing best practices with them from other parts of the agencies that we get a bird's eye view of. We're pioneering it ourselves with regard to ways that we can assess what spending is consistent with the administration's policy agenda.
So that was Director of the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vogt, earlier this month discussing how they're using artificial intelligence in the federal budgeting process. On a state level, North Carolina State Auditor Dave Bullock, he told the states that they're using AI in their auditing process, and he said it's like throwing jet fuel on their progress to track how tax dollars are being used in North Carolina. But where else can AI be implemented in government to bring about more transparency and accountability? Well, to delve further into that question, let's talk with Jeff Wolf, Senior Director of Technology Partnerships at Reveal. Jeff, thanks for taking time with us here on The States. So how can artificial intelligence improve overall government transparency?
AI can be used for a lot of things that you see both in the commercial sector as well. But summaries of emails, documents, creation of briefs, budget creation, improved workflows. But with all of that comes additional information that it becomes requestable, right? So one of the challenges I don't think we talk about enough is everyone's starting to use artificial intelligence to speed up workflows, to provide more efficiency in government. But AI interactions also create additional government records themselves. So AI prompts, responses, policies, meeting summaries, emails, all of that becomes discoverable depending on state public records laws. And that's one of the things we focus on here quite a bit.
So when it comes to the overall process, is it possible that AI can help in automating requesting public records?
Yes, we actually provide tools on both sides of the house for that very purpose. So AI is becoming more useful not only to government agencies and state and local governments to help respond to requests, but also helping citizens provide better requests in the first place. You see tools now that that help shape a citizen's request for a public records offering, making sure that they're not asking questions that are not scoped well, providing more consistency in the request, clear timelines for what they're looking for, also deflecting their requests that have already been made by other citizens to documents that already exist in the public sector.
Now, last month, the Center Square reporting across the country, our reporters requested records from the Colorado Attorney General's office, but the information was held behind a $330 paywall. Other public records that were requested were being held behind a $290 paywall. Now, for nearly 2 months, the Colorado AG's office declined to answer how those fees were being calculated. Then, just last week, Jeff, the AG's office told the Center Square it wants to charge a total of $5,130 for those same requests, an increase of over $4,800 compared to the initial estimate. Can artificial intelligence address, maybe even reduce, if not eliminate, such kinds of costs?
Absolutely. One of the challenges we have, obviously, in the United States is that we are dealing with 50 different Freedom of Information or Public Records Acts, depending on the state that you're in, not to mention the federal government's own FOIA Act. So every state has a different they have a different set of deadlines, a different set of exemptions, to your point, a different fee structure, and different response requirements. That being said, the workflow is the same for the most part from state to state, from municipality to municipality. It's making sure that the documents are available, they're identified, they're reviewed, they're redacted, and they're produced. Regardless of the governing statute for the state, there is a standard workflow. And artificial intelligence can help at every step of that chain to reduce what was typically done with manual research, document printing, photocopying requests, things that the state's laws allowed for. The problem is that a lot of the state's laws have not been updated yet to accommodate the speed with which AI can now help those agencies do that work.
So we've heard a little bit here about how artificial intelligence can kind of help facilitate and speed up such requests. But there's got to be some risks involved here,
Sure.
right? What are those risks?
It's really comes back to transparency, right? So citizens judge transparency less by the statements that are made, but more by how quickly and completely governments respond to the requests they make. For example, if a request takes 6 months and, to your point, costs thousands of dollars or requires manually reviewing hundreds of thousands of files, people don't perceive government as transparent. Modern technology can reduce that burden, but it's not all about that. It's also about trust in the records that they're getting. AI can be used to the point I made, deflect some requests that are redundant. It can help concatenate and identify documents that are similar to make it easier for reviewers to quickly get through those documents. We're already seeing AI being used in our tools for document review, to deduplicate repeated records, to search across the hundreds of thousands of collated records that they're producing for some of the larger requests, to more consistently do redactions in conjunction with the requirements of their state statutes, and to quickly produce the resulting documents out in a defensible way with an audit trail that they can follow. So all of that transparency exists in the tools that they're using, and that workflow has to be the same that's shown to the government, to the citizens, so that they have more trust in the process.
Jeff, AI obviously is advancing at a pretty rapid rate. I mean, I've
Yes.
always thought about, AI video, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Will Smith spaghetti progression, right? The first Will Smith spaghetti eating looked ridiculous, and nowadays it looks like it's filmed on a Hollywood set somewhere. So clearly AI is advancing, but when it comes to these types of records with sensitive information of maybe victims with a police report, or certain types of trade secrets with a company that may be working with a state agency, for instance, how crucial is it that any finished product that artificial intelligence produces on a Freedom of Information Act request, that there is some kind of human oversight?
A human always has to be in the loop. But that being said, the traditional workflow for public records is collect the records, have all human eyes on every document, and redact what you need to redact for privacy laws, for state statutes, and then produce the results. Humans make mistakes. What is nice about using artificial intelligence to assist in the process is that the AI can take a first stab at those reviews, at the redactions, and then a human can vet or sample the results of that. And so therefore you can get the documents that are needed in a quicker time frame at a less expensive rate, but with a higher degree of accuracy. But still, you always have a human reviewing that work at the end.
So Jeff, what other opportunities are there? We've been talking about AI being used for more government transparency, started the program with even the federal government looking at how to use AI with their budgeting process, and auditors in states using AI to help with their auditing process. What other opportunities, at least, have you seen being in this space?
So I think you'll see a lot more conflagration of other tools. Every major product that is used in a workforce environment, whether that's corporate or public sector, is intersecting with our large language models and products, commercial products like Claude from Anthropic or ChatGPT from OpenAI. They all have connectivity to them, so that the large language models can actually interact with the data productivity tools. I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the future, so that you can compare the work you did in your email calendar to what you put on your Slack or Teams environment, communications that you're having, or the budgeting requests that you're working on can interact with the efficiency reports that were already done very easily. So I think the next phase of this is much more agentic work, where AI can actually do tasks as opposed to just answering questions or doing one-off content generation. But it can actually perform tasks for us in a variety of the tools that we use today, speeding up general work.
So Jeff, finally here, what should various, taxpayer-funded agencies do, like state, local, federal government? What should they consider before they look to deploy these types of tools?
I would say, first of all, they need to invest in the technology. We work with a lot of municipalities who see the advantage of using tools to be more efficient and transparent to the citizens that they support and serve. I think they need to vet the technologies that they're going to purchase, make sure that They are built to standards that allow for the AI to function, but within guardrails. That's extremely important. And I think they just need to make sure that the tools that they're using are used by similar types of municipalities and government agencies already.
Jeff Wolf, Senior Director of Technology Partnerships at Reveal. Greatly appreciate you taking the time here for the States.